Alright, hello everyone. I'm going to be showing off a build for Arc Titans with the Practic Blade. This heavily relies on guarding and strongholds and boltcharge. It is mainly used for solo boss DPS. So I will show you what it does. So you pop your barricade, you throw a grenade, and then you just sit here like this. And we will see how much damage we can do after a while. Because this is basically proccing bolt charge every few seconds, as you can see on the left side of my screen, because of the core we are using. It's not even hitting me. There we go. And then once you run out, you just replenish and do it again. So as you see, I'm getting tons of bolt charges off. We're doing DPS to his health, as you can see at the bottom right. Obviously, this is showing a lot less DPS than what it should be. And once you run out of everything, you gotta refresh, go ahead. Obviously, your health will not get tanked as much in normal combat. This is just much more overpowered content, but let's see the numbers. So as you can see, the numbers are already... Let's see, we're already at 18,000 from sitting here holding one block. Oh, and then also to throw on as well, whenever you do eventually stun him, as I'll show in a second. Oh, did not mean to do that. Let's see. Throw a grenade. Keep doing it. For that little bit of extra DPS, you can go in with your super, just for the extra DPS. But this is a very safe way to do solo content, such as dungeons. If you would like to do solo dungeons, you could do this build. It'll work very well for this. And you just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. I mean, it works very well. See if I can get him off without dying here. Get him to stop shooting me. There we go. There we go. Okay, so to show off the build. So that is just some gameplay of what this build can do. As you can see, there are the numbers just from one super pop and guarding. For my solo super and guard. So essentially, we'll start with the lightsaber. So essentially on the lightsaber, what you want to use is you want to use the defensive form, because blocking will give you ammo. And it also, right after blocking an attack immediately after guarding, increases damage for a duration. Honestly, here, most of these don't really make much sense to me to use, but the one I use, just because I don't have any other ones apart from Forceful Blade, is I just use this one for the charge rate. That doesn't really matter that much since we're using strongholds. Then you want to use the refraction core, because this is obviously for reflecting, but since we are using arc, we'll get constant bolt charges. And then you want to use Hyper Blade, because this will cause you to be amplified from reflecting shots, and also gives you sword lunge distance as well, if you need to get out of a sticky situation. But yeah, that about sums up the sword. Next, we'll go ahead and look at the subclass. So for the Arc subclass, you want to use Thunder Crash, and then you want to use Rally Barricade, obviously because you want to be able to reflect shots. Oh yeah, and then the super obviously you just want to use for more DPS, because Thunder Crash is not, or not Thunder Crash, sorry, Fist of Havoc is not very good for this. Jump, use whatever you're comfortable with. Melee doesn't really matter because you're not really using your melee. I just stick with Seismic Strike for everything else. Pulse Grenade is obviously what you want to use for getting more ionic traces and bolt charge. Then you want to use Storm's Keep, obviously, to get the bolt charge from your barricade and standing behind your barricade. And then you want to use Touch of Thunder, which basically for your bolt grenades, or not, yeah, since we're using bolt grenades, or pulse grenades. I don't know why I'm saying bolt grenades. Sorry about that. It basically will create ionic traces periodically, as it says there. Fragments. So you want to use Spark of Frequency for for basically it counts as your melee weapon because it says melee hits, but lightsabers count as a melee weapon. Therefore, basically it increases your stability, and also while you're amplified, gives you increased bolt charge stacks for even more bolt charges, which is why we're getting bolt charge much faster. Arc grenades. This is also why we need this, because it basically gives you, it jolts the targets from your arc grenades. Defeating a jolted target or defeating targets with bolt charges creates an ionic trace. That is if you are having to deal with ads as well. It'll basically just jolt them and kind of just kill everything around you and explode them while also creating ionic charges. And then spark of discharge. Sorry. Collecting ionic traces grants you a stack of bolt and charge. So what that means is while you're using a arc weapon, such as we technically are, because the lightsaber is currently an arc weapon due to us having the core set, um, you basically have chances to start ionic traces, which will give you a stack of bolt charge, which is very helpful for the constant bolt charges we're trying to get here. Um, your artifact doesn't really matter at all. You really could get away with not having anything, which is great. Your helmet, you basically want to have special ammo finder on, just so you can get more ammo for your sword, and then a kinetic cipher just for orbs of power that you can get from rapid final blows. Your melee, so you want to throw on bolstering detonation 3 times, because that's going to help you get class ability energy from damage with your grenades. So you're basically never going to run out of your class ability, i.e. your barricade. Your chest piece, honestly, you could throw on whatever you want. I like just having a little bit more ammo and whatever resistance you have to use for whatever kind of content you're using. Your legs, throw on 2 installations so that you can get your class ability even faster from picking up orbs. And innervation, which will reduce your grenade cooldown from picking up an orb. Your mark, you want to have bomber, distribution, and time dilation. So time dilation will just help decay your armor charge. Has a longer duration. Distribution will reduce all ability cooldowns, which is very helpful for your grenade and class ability. And bomber will reduce your grenade cooldown as well. So that those all help very much with this build, and that is pretty much the entire build. I mean, you can use it for whatever kind of content you want, obviously. I just think it works best with boss DPS, but you can also use it for clearing out ads just because of the grenade being so good, and, you know, having the constant bolt charge will help a lot. But yeah, no, that's the entire build. If you like this video and like this build, I will be leaving it in the comment section through Dim. I'll leave the link in the description. Sorry, not in the comments. I'll leave it in the description. But yeah, no, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting, and subscribing for more Destiny 2 content. And I will see you guys all soon. See ya.